to caregiver. Oh boy, this one, caregiver is so hard for me because I almost always tear up when I think it literally took me, I'm coming up on my 5th year. I will say it's just been in my last year that I can talk about my caregivers and not tear up because I don't know what I would have done. And I always knew my family would step up. I just never knew at what level I was going to have to expect them to step up. And my sister was, I mean, I'll have to talk about my husband soon, but my sister was the one that really surprised me as far as her ability to read what I needed before I even knew what I needed. So as far as Caregivers Appreciation Day, this is something that we started a while ago. And we picked January 23rd. And the reason we did that was because caregivers make caregiving look as easy as 1, 2, 3. And caregivers are the most unsung heroes of our society. They're the ones who provide physical, emotional, and practical support to those who need it, most often at the expense of their own well-being. And I believe that is so true. They may be family members, friends, neighbors, or professionals who dedicate their time and energy to caring for others. Caregivers deserve our gratitude and recognition for the valuable work they do. However, many caregivers feel isolated, overwhelmed, and underappreciated. They might not have the time or resources to take care of themselves, or they may feel guilty for asking for help. They may also face challenges such as stress, burnout, depression, and anxiety. And they usually do all of this while they're still working or caring for a family. Caregivers are amazing people who make a difference in the lives of others. They deserve our appreciation and respect, not only on special occasions, but every day. By showing appreciation to the caregivers in your life, we can help them feel valued, supported, and happy. You can also help them continue to provide the best care possible and to enjoy the rewarding aspects of caregiving. So like I said, my main caregivers were my mom, my sister, and my husband, and then I have 2 daughters and their husbands. I tried to protect my daughters a lot. I didn't want them to know what I was going through. So although they helped, I didn't ask them to like drive me to like take off work to take me to doctor's appointments or everything. I would say they were more my inspiration through everything. And then my mom became my secretary, my chauffeur, my schedule keeper. And then my husband, I think my husband, he learned so much about himself and like what we needed as a couple. I remember one story, we were getting ready for a CT scan. In those days, 4 or 5 years ago, you know, the CT scans just scare you so bad, you just start imagining everything. And so I was like a week out and already upset and worried and sure the world was going to end when I had the CT scan. And we were in the car and I said something about, I was so scared or something about that's coming up. And poor guy, he made this offhanded, just general statement of, you know, you're going to be fine. Well, I flew into him. I made him stop the car. We were still in our neighborhood. I made him stop the car. I got out of the car. I walked home. You don't understand. You don't have a clue what this is like. And he said, I realized that I was equating, and I think I've told this story before, I was equating to me when he got back to the house. And I said to him, you're never afraid. You're never afraid. And he looked at me and he said, if I'm afraid, what's going to happen to us? Like, and I realized he didn't have a choice. Like, I get to be like all crazy and, oh, this is a great day. And, oh, tomorrow I'm so scared. He was trying to keep everything even between, you know, my girls, you know, my mother, my sister, me. He had all these people who were always up and down and crazy. And he looked at me and said, if I'm afraid. And I was like, oh my God, like I felt terrible. So, and it's true. If he fell apart, I don't know what I would have done. So after that, he really changed about how he responded to my fear. He acknowledged my fear, um, or he could recognize it before I even said anything, and he would say the right things. So he would be more of a comfort rather. Well, he was trying to comfort me when he said you're going to be fine, but he really weighs his words much, much more now. And I really appreciate it. And that's part of caregiving. That's really is a part of caregiving. So we've learned a lot, but I can understand how people could go in opposite directions in their relationships with this, because if your partner isn't giving you what you need and you can't express what you need, that doesn't work. So happy
And that was
Caregivers
your
Appreciation
husband?
Day.
That was your
Yeah,
husband?
that was my husband. I've put him through a lot, but he has stuck by me. Right now, I have the funniest thing happening with him. You guys, he's a police officer, so he's like very stoic, and he never gets upset. He's very even. I've been able to scare him. Like he'll be walking away from me down the hall, and I'll just yell, "Hey!" And he like jumps, or he's just sitting in his chair, and I'll yell, "Hey!"
Oh,
And I have been able to scare him in the last month, like at least once a day. And he has been so mad about it. He hasn't been able to scare me. And I know that when he does, I'm going to be in so much trouble. I know he's planning something. So I'm like always, I like look around every corner. I open every door very slowly. So I don't know what he's planning, but I'm sure paybacks are going to be hell for me.
hold on, don't
Oh,
click yet, don't click yet. So Christina says that she's walking right now on the treadmill. She says
yay, Christina.
it's so boring, so she puts it on the highest settings, and she calls it enough in 30 minutes.
Good strategy.
Right?
Good.
Velda jumped into the chat. Hi, Velda.
Hey, Zelda. Hey, Zelda.
She okay. So Christina says my husband and daughter do not know how to cope with me.
Yeah. Most don't you guys wonder what your family says about you when you're not around? Like, wouldn't you love to hear the conversations about like, oh, mom's been pretty good right now, or mom has just lost it this week, I I would love to hear. I haven't overheard any conversations, but sometimes I can tell when I'm with my family and there has been a conversation because of things that they say to me. So God bless them.
Yeah. So you're the scare
Okay.
thing, right? The scare thing.
Yeah, it is.
One of the things that I follow on Instagram is like this. He's also a cop, right? So what he does is he sets up like this little. He's got like a pull popper thing that sprays out confetti, and he also has this little gun, and he sets up like balloons full of like white paint, and he just
Oh,
waits for his wife to walk into a room, shoots the balloon, it splashes down on her, and then he uses the popper thing and shoots her with confetti, and then he ropes in his daughter. Right? So they go back and forth. They go back and forth with these scare tactics. It's hilarious.
yeah, but do they have to clean that up?
I'm sure that they enjoy that part too. But so he's got like cameras in every room of the house, right? So, that's what he's using to capture these things.
Well, we have cameras all around the outside of the house. I have not allowed cameras in the house yet. I'm like,
Smart.
no. I mean, I can see somebody coming from a mile away. I can see spiders on my front porch. Anything that moves, we know about it.
Right.
But okay.